After I became a Christian, I started working in the church, and whether it was conscious or unconscious, I looked for structures in the church that I found in society where I worked. For example, democratic processes, other processes that I would find in society. And after a while, I realized that these things didn't work in the church. I took on more and more responsibilities in the church, and I saw that one-to-one, these structures we had learned there didn't work in the church. A church is no place for a dictatorship, but it's also not a democratic community. A church needs leadership. We know in Hebrews 13 it says very clearly, follow your leadership. Follow those that are overseeing you. And sometimes people think that a church doesn't need any leadership. And the question we need to ask is, what kind of structure is church, or what suits a church? Servant leadership is what we see. We see in Matthew 20, where Jesus says that he didn't come to be served, but to serve. And that's also important for us. And also what is important when we look at these structures that we're wrestling with is this Bible verse in Peter 1, verse 5, where it says, care for the flock that God has entrusted to you. Watch over it willingly, not grudgingly, not for what you will get out of it, but because you want to serve God. Don't lord it over the people assigned to your care, but lead them by your own good example. And we see that through this, you are leading by your good example. And so we see servant leadership is brought through here again, but also being a good example. It means that we don't patronize those, but also we don't bring in a dictatorship. We don't lead by dictatorship, that we put words in their mouths, but we lead by example. We share the vision and we inspire them with our vision. And when I think about it, when a dictator looks like this and a democracy looks like this, we need to ask ourselves, what is church? And I say church is something totally different. It's a New Testament structure, but not just on the side where both components are seen, but we see in 3D, where we say, here's leadership, here's inspiration, where everybody are equal, everyone is equal before God, and everyone has the same value before God, but in spite of that, there's still movement, there's dynamic, there's vision, there's team. There are relationships, and out of these relationships, we find discipleship and things that can truly grow well. We can't take models from the society one-to-one and try and lead like that in the church. It just doesn't work, because church is something special. It's something unique. What is church? Church is family. And family do things differently, very differently. We have mothers in family. We have fathers in family. And sometimes at home, mother and father chat to each other and they decide in what direction it's going. And other times, the whole family come together and there's a family meeting and we decide all together what we should be doing. And so my question is to you. If you are a member in a church, how would it be to see your leaders as mother and father, where you could truly see your church as family? What other attitudes would you have in your heart in comparison to your past? Or else, what about if you are in leadership? And what if people saw you as a father or a mother with responsibility for a family? What would you do differently?